Hey folks, Randy here with Dolan Cut and Trim. So today we are going to look at the most overgrown property I have ever serviced in my life. Some of these weeds were 7 feet tall. Now, I was not as smart as I would like to have been. I was under the impression that I would be able to take care of this whole thing using a walk-behind string trimmer. However, there were a couple of issues. But before we get to those issues, I just want to say, this is not your average walk-behind string trimmer. Because no, it may be on a Cub Cadet frame, but that's got an upgraded engine on it, and it's well taken care of. And I really thought this was going to be the way to go. Turns out, I was wrong. The first issue I ran into is apparently I don't really know how to string these massive trimmers. I had plenty of trim line, but you know, the line that it came with lasted for a good couple of minutes before it ground down to nothing. But after that, I couldn't go very long without the trim line just getting completely disintegrated or just flying away. And I'm pretty sure it's because I was stringing it wrong. So like right there, one of the things I didn't realize, and I guess, you know, it's my own dumb fault for not knowing this, I really thought that this trimmer would be able to take care of stuff like that without a problem. Clearly it could not. I tried approaching it a couple of times, and you know, it just bounced right back up while destroying the trim line that was on there. So I kept going at it, and I think at this point I'm realizing that there is no trim line left on this sucker. Am I gonna look? No, I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna keep trying. And so actually, this video, I can already tell you, it doesn't show the whole thing, because I ended up going through most of this property, or trying to go through this whole property, but I ended up running out of trim line very quickly, and ended up doing the rest of it with my string trimmer, which is what I should have done the whole time anyway. This property, I actually billed $250 to fix this lawn up. And I was being greedy, but I was really hoping I'd be able to get it done in about an hour. Ended up taking about 2.5 hours total. Because like right now, I'm not even in the bad area. I mean, it gets worse. Well, now I'm walking into a rough area. But it was brutal, man. Yeah, these walk-behind string trimmers are pretty awesome, but if there's anything that's even remotely thick, you know, like beyond just grass, they're not the right tool for the job. So, oh man. But I mean, you know, ultimately it was good money. You know, it's kind of funny how you get like stuff in your head. I really wanted to be able to get this job done in an hour and a half, which of course would have meant I was going to make, you know, like what, you know, $175 an hour or whatever. So, you know, I was being a little unreasonable, and actually, honestly, the fact that I got it done in 2.5 hours, that means I was working at a rate of $100 an hour. I think that's pretty good. I don't think I should be complaining about that. So, at this point, I was just trying to make some headway, so I thought maybe what I would do is I would kind of start out like in like a middle area, open things up for myself so I could turn around, and then I would start, you know, more or less striping this. That plan didn't work out at all. I mean, nothing I did here worked out at all. Like I said, I should have just gone in with the string trimmer with some thick line and called it done. But I didn't do that. I was just hell-bent. Oh, you see like a huge chunk. Did you see that? If you rewind this about 5 seconds, you just see a huge chunk of the trim line fly off. This thing was just, it's because this wasn't the right tool for the job. This is an amazing tool, but if it's overgrown grass, yeah, there goes that piece of trim line again. You see that, like on the right hand side? When I go back forward, you're going to see it. It's right there, right next to me. See that? That's a massive chunk I blew off, you know? And so, you know, this is a great tool for heavy, thick grass, but like stuff like this, where there was all kinds of thick weeds and like little trees and stuff growing up in it, this was just not the right tool. So I mean, I honestly, because I think at some point I actually got pretty frustrated and just stopped recording this video, and I just did the rest of it with the string trimmer. I then had to go back with some like loppers and cut down everything that the string trimmer couldn't cut down. Then, after I did all that, I actually hit this property with my Toro Time Master and mowed over it twice. And actually, I'm going to post the before and after pictures if I remembered to take some. No, I know I remember to take them if they're still, accessible. Because this, it ended up looking really good by the time I was done. It was just a really, really frustrating process throughout this whole thing. Because it's like, honestly, it's one of those things you just get in your own head, I made $100 an hour doing this job. I have no right to have been upset about anything. But because it wasn't going as fast as I wanted it to go, it got very frustrating. And actually, I ended up spending a lot more money on this job than I'd wanted to. Because if you look on the right-hand side, you see that black box on the right side. That's the throttle. At some point while I was doing this job, I broke the throttle switch, or the lever. So, I had to pay to replace that. I was going through the trim line on this thing like it was nobody's business. And so, I ended up having to I ended up just buying a whole new spool of trim line for the guy that I borrowed it from. And then, of course, you don't want to just use somebody's stuff and, not pay for it. So I also, I can't remember if I gave him, I don't remember how much money I gave him for the machine, for letting me use it. But I did give the guy a certain amount of money for letting me use his machine. But, overall, it was just a really, really frustrating job. But, got it done. It wasn't the end of the world. And actually, like I said, made good money on this because, my production rate when I'm doing lawn mowing is usually about $70 an hour. Sometimes I get it up to 90, but mostly it's 70. And on this job, it was a production rate of $100 an hour. That's great. So I really didn't have any business complaining. Just is what it is, Just didn't go as easy as I thought it would. I'm checking to see if there's trim line. I'm like, daggone it, trim line is gone. It was really, really frustrating. Or maybe there's still a trim line there because I'm trying to use the machine still. Yeah, there's no trim line there. Look at that, man. It's not doing anything. Oh, this was so frustrating. Everything about it was so frustrating. So if I've got before and after pictures, I'll show them now so that you can see them. So hopefully you're seeing before and after pictures instead of a black screen. If you're seeing a black screen, man, I am very sorry. I wish I hadn't done that, but it is what it is. So this is Randy with Dolan Cut and Trim. Thank you so much for watching this video, and have a good one.